Artificial intelligence has been implemented in many different ways throughout history. It has a profound impact on healthcare technologies, neuroscience, linguistics, software development, and mathematics. It first arose in the 1st century BC with the Antikythera mechanism, which is considered by some to be the first computer. It was being carried on a ship near Greece. This ship, however, crashed near the coast of Antikythera, giving it its name. It was later discovered by Captain Demetrios Kondos and his crew of sponge divers in 1901. The divers made many archaeological discoveries, but the Antikythera mechanism remains the most important find.
It looks like modern glassware, but this bowl dates back to the 1st century BC. It's part of a collection of ancient Greek and Roman artifacts found on the Antikytheron shipwreck, which was first discovered in 1900 off the coast of the isolated Greek island of the same name. The objects are on display at Greece's National Archaeological Museum, and director Nikolaos Kaltsas says many of the precious items were retrieved in a 1901 excavation. One of the most significant finds was the Antikytheron mechanism, which many consider to be the world's first computer. Scientists realized that the 82 fragments of copper and bronze they found were part of a sophisticated portable calendar, able to calculate solar and lunar eclipses and set the date for the Olympic Games. A working recreation of the Antikytheron mechanism is on display, reconstructed by mechanic and historian Michael T. Wright.
However, after the 1st century BC, the idea of computing disappeared for many centuries. In 1837, computing was reborn with the analytical engine built by the British scientist Charles Babbage. While originally intended as a calculator, the analytical engine was the start of the age of computing.
Every turn of the engine's driving handle is carried through gears, cams, rods, levers, and springs to release and arrest precisely aligned number wheels. The helical arrangement of steel fingers continually tolls the register towers to find and perform the carrying of tens.
In 1847, Ada Lovelace created the first computer program. In 1924, the logic gate was invented, allowing for more complex circuitry. In 1936, Alan Turing came up with the principles of modern computing. His Turing machine was the first modern computer. It can perform many functions and worked both backwards and forwards. In 1941, German scientists created the first programmable computer, the Z3. In 1946, ENIAC became the first general-purpose computer.
Are people becoming obsolete? The giant electronic brain has started cogitating at the University of Pennsylvania. It's made of vacuum tubes like your radio, and it can add up a column of figures a yard long in a second. It's the world's first electronic computer. Right now, it's solving mathematical problems for the U.S. Army, but who knows, someday a machine like this may check up on your income tax.
In 1992, a computer became the world's checkers champion. In 1997, Deep Blue beat Garry Kasparov, becoming the best chess player in the world.
This was suspense beyond anything the world of chess had ever known. Garry Kasparov, 34 years old, a cheerful and confident player throughout a dominating career, hovered over his pieces in the deciding game of a match with an implacable challenger. Deep Blue, a computer. Kasparov won the first game in a breeze, but the next day he got the shock of his life. To Kasparov, Deep Blue played the second game much more strongly, differently. Unlike a computer, he said. Kasparov conceded. and the loss wore on his mind for the rest of the match.
City mentioned in Joshua showed the walls.
And in 2011, Watson won Jeopardy!
Watson.
What is Jericho?
Correct.
Artificial intelligence has had a huge impact on the scientific and business world, creating innovation in many fields. Artificial intelligence is currently used for a variety of communications applications today. One major example of artificial intelligence, or AI, in the communications field is a Turing test created by Alan Turing. He proposed a test to show a computer's ability to exhibit intelligent behavior. It involves a judge trying to determine whether or not the speaker is a computer. Many programs have been made trying to mimic a human during a conversation. One example is Cleverbot, which has achieved high scores in the Turing test in the past few years. The program was able to disguise the fact that it was a computer when it was put into a conversation with a human.
Meet Joan. This online ingenue is not just another pretty interface. She's the invention of software engineer and proud avatar parent, Rollo Carpenter. These eerie avatars could transform the way we think about communication. Rollo describes Cleverbot as a collective consciousness.
You could call it a conversational Wikipedia, if you like. Another way of putting it is that it's borrowing the intelligence of the people that speak to it. It doesn't solely respond to the last thing you typed.
Shall I bring you something?
It looks back at the whole conversation and says there are maybe tens of thousands of people who have responded to "How are you?" in the past. Which is the most suitable of those tens of thousands to say to this person right now?
Chit-chat is nice, but this kind of artificial intelligence has a lot more useful applications.
Very soon we will be talking to avatars on websites, in phone booths. The employees in a call center will become ever more specialized at their job, a significant portion of which will be to teach the AI how to respond to the average conversation.
These avatars' ability to conduct sophisticated conversations means they'll do much more than give you flight times or weather reports. They'll answer specific, complex questions about almost anything you want to know, better than Google or Bing or your know-it-all friends.
We don't intend to replace humans, but to augment them.
It's been extremely useful in the voice-automated customer services industry. For example, companies usually receive an overwhelming amount of emails every day which employees cannot possibly handle. Therefore, they use robots similar to the ones used during the Turing test to simplify the process. Recently, advances in computer science have allowed automated robots to reply in a more realistic way. Some robots produced by large companies can make emails appearing to be written entirely by a human.